In this video, I'm going to give you a few pointers on how to manage quizzes once they've been created, because it's one thing to create a quiz and then it's another one to actually extract grades from the thing. So I'm going to select this ice cream quiz that I've created. It has a number of questions, and go to the quiz, and I'm going to select Edit Quiz so I can take a look at it. Now this quiz right now has a number of questions on it. It looks like I have 8 questions on this quiz. Each one of these is worth the same amount. I have them all set so that the grade is a 1. If I wanted one of these questions to be worth more, like for example, page 8 here, question number 7, was a matching question, and I know that I had 3 possible choices there, I may want to make that worth 3 points. So it's worth 3 times as much as the other questions, because there are really 3 things that you could get right or wrong. So I have the option of doing that for any of my questions, and then I just click Save after I've done that. Another thing that I can do is I can add a random question. So maybe I want to ask a question but have different students possibly see slightly different versions of that question. I'm going to show you how you can do that. Click Add a Random Question, and then since it's a new category that I'm just adding here, I'm going to call this this is question number 9, so I'm going to call it 9 Randomizer. So this will be a category of questions that it'll select questions from. The parent category will be the ice cream quiz, and when I click the Create Category and Add Random Question, it'll create this question category for me and stick the random question in there. So now if I look at the bottom of the page, there's this randomizer question. It says this random question is not in use since its category is empty. And then it says Add Questions to the Category 9 Randomizer. So here's what I'm going to do. Up on the upper right-hand corner, I have Question Bank Contents. The category that I'm in right now is 9 Randomizer, and there are no questions there. So I'm going to select Create a New Question. And this will be, I'm going to make this a true-false question. So I click True-False and then Next. And this takes me right to the same question editor that I would use if I were just adding a normal question. I'm going to give this question a name. I'm going to call it 9-1 because there will be other questions that will go in Category 9, Randomizer. Question text, strawberry is a flavor of ice cream. And that is, of course, true, so I'll go down to where the correct answer is, and I'll change that to true. And then I will click Save Changes. And now I have an ordinary true-false question in the 1 randomizer category. Now I can quickly create another question by just clicking the Edit button. This opens up question number 9-1 again, but I'm going to change this to question 9-2 and slightly modify the text of the question. I'm going to say instead, pistachio is a flavor of ice cream, which of course is also true. Now when I get down to the bottom, instead of saying Save Changes, I'm going to say Make Copy. So this will save this, but it won't save it as the same question. And now when we look in the randomizer category here, there are 2 questions, 9-1 and 9-2. I can add a third one very quickly. Change the number to 9-3, and I'm going to put in here something that's obviously not a flavor of ice cream. Rubber. I doubt that anybody has rubber flavored ice cream. So I'm going to say that this is false, and then Make Copy again. So now I have 3 questions in this category. When the student takes the quiz, when they get to question number 9, that question will be one of these 3 questions, so that you could have 2 students sitting next to each other and both of them be working on question number 9 at the same time and have different questions to answer, which really helps cut down on cheating and adds a little more variety to your test. And it's very helpful if you're going to allow your students to take quizzes over again, that they don't always get the same question, which will allow them to just memorize answers and not have to actually learn anything. So that's a valuable feature. Now one more thing about quiz behavior. The maximum grade default is 10. You might not want it to be out of 10. My quizzes are almost always out of 5. Maybe you want it to be a percentage, so you could set that as 100. You can set this to be whatever you want it to be, and then click Save. When the student takes the quiz, Moodle will automatically calculate how many points they have and then convert it to, in my case, a 5-point scale, or a 100-point scale, or a 27-point scale, or whatever it is that you choose. Now let's take a quiz just to see what it's going to look like when a student actually sees the quiz. You can always do this, and I recommend doing it because editing the quiz and taking the quiz sometimes look like different things. So click the Attempt Quiz Now button, and you will begin to take the quiz just like the student would take the quiz, with one difference. Here I see what the student will see when they take the quiz, only I have the option of editing the question. So if you find a problem with a question as you're taking it, you don't have to make a note to yourself and hope you remember to go back and fix it. You can fix it immediately by just clicking Edit Question. Students won't see that button because they don't have the authority that you have on Moodle. So what's your favorite ice cream and why? So I'll type my little essay here. Pistachio. And just to save time, I'm going to say personal reasons. Okay, so I click Next. The student would do that as well. Now because this is random, this isn't really question number 2, but it's the second question that the student sees. Match the flavor with the color. So now I'm going to make my match. And I'm going to purposely do this wrong and show you how that looks to a student and to the teacher later on when we go to grade this. It's a true-false question. That's true. How many flavors are available? I think I said 23. What is the best flavor of ice cream at West Dairy? We have to select, and I think I said pistachio. Rubber is a flavor of ice cream. That was false. What's the color of strawberry ice cream? I'm going to spell this wrong. Mary buys 3 ice cream cones at $2.54 each. What will be her total bill? So I multiply 3 times $2.54, $7.62. And that's all the questions. So now the student sees that the answer is saved for all of them, and this is the time, if they want to go back and change anything or review their answers if they have time. If not, they click Submit All and Finish, and they get one more chance to go back, and then the quiz goes in. Now what the student sees immediately is feedback on their question. They get to do a review. So right now they're reviewing this question, and it says it's not yet graded. So in their little quiz navigation bar, it's neither red nor yellow, which is partial credit, or green, which is full credit, because it hasn't been graded yet. If they click Next, they go to the next question, and you can see that it's highlighted red in the spots where they've gotten it wrong, green for the one that they got right. They got 1 out of 3 on this question. Next question, the question shows up, the answer shows up, and the feedback that I gave them that this was a good job on this question shows up there as well. They got all the rest of the questions right, and they can just march their way through. If they want to shortcut that, they can just click Finish Review and be done. Now, as a teacher, you might want to take a look at this quiz for the students. Now, since I don't actually have any students to take this quiz for me, I can't show you this on this video. But if this were a real quiz, after your students have taken it, there's one more line, one more link that you can click on that says View Finished Attempts. And if you click on that, you'll get a list of all the students and you'll get their attempts. You can go through all of the reviews and see which ones they got wrong if you'd like to, or you can just find out what their grade was and put it in the grade book. That's totally up to you, depending on how interested you are in how they did on it and what particular questions that they got wrong. So those are just a few features of quiz making and taking in general that might be helpful to you as you try to use Moodle in your classes.